Hello and good day, everyone. I am Donna Labangon, and with me today is my colleague and co-author, Ms. Roana Marie Flores. So we'd like to thank the DLSU Research Congress team for giving us the opportunity to present our study. And our research is titled The State of MOOC Camps in Philippine American Corners, Charting the Path to the Next Normal. So with the unprecedented shift to online learning during, of course, the pandemic, the rise of massive open online courses or MOOCs in library services also emerged. This paper describes how MOOCs are being offered at the American Corners, a public diplomacy library of the U.S. Department of State in select universities in the Philippines. So this paper will attempt to identify the challenges and opportunities and to help understand the barriers experienced by the librarians as they adapt to this trend. And the findings of the study will be beneficial to program implementers in improving their programming strategies and, of course, their overall decision making. So, the constant improvements in libraries, program, and services are really a continuous effort of every library and information professional. However, as we know, the COVID-19 pandemic made this endeavor more complex and has really prompted libraries to carefully rethink their programs and, of course, their services. So this paper will discuss how a massive open online course or a MOOC program was offered during the pandemic with the aim to continue this learning initiative in an abruptly remote environment. So, of course, with the inevitable shifts and transformations, online education really paved the way for a massive and an accessible way of learning. And MOOCs is really not new, no, at this day and age. In 2008, it was actually coined by David Cormier and Macaulay and co-authors in 2010 defined this really as an online course with the option of free and open registration, a publicly shared curriculum, and open-ended outcomes. And this is now really another way or an alternative delivery model for libraries to explore for an accessible way of learning. And of course, we all know that libraries have always been a staunch partner of academic community in supporting its teaching and research trust. So with this library's key role, it remains the same, no? Continuous discovery and innovation in its programs and services. And given the characteristics of MOOCs as well, that it is accessible, uh, its flexibility, the way it enriches the library programming as an alternative mode to reaching out to the community, as well as how it also fosters independent learning, other libraries are now also recognizing MOOC's inevitable part in delivering libraries, programs, and services. But however, as we are doing this study, we found out that there's still a limited studies regarding MOOCs, and we really believe that there's a lot more to uncover to reveal the state of how MOOCs are maximized in Philippine libraries, in the library setting. It is assumed that with the recent shift to the online models of delivering instruction, more libraries are likely to use technology to teach information literacy and other essential topics that could be offered as a MOOC program. So for this research, we would like to explore the lived experiences of MOOC camp implementers in the American corners nationwide during the COVID-19 pandemic. So in particular, we would like to seek answers to the following. What are the main motivations of ACs in implementing MOOC camps during pandemic times? And what are the challenges identified and how did they deal with those? So this study, we believe, would be beneficial to organizations which are planning or are currently implementing MOOC camps, as they will be able to learn from the program strategies and improve their overall decision making. And since this will be new to most of the libraries, learning from the previous players could help the organizations refrain from making the same mistakes and maximizing time for other purposes. So for the study, the methodology, this paper, it is exploratory in nature and has employed a descriptive research design in a highly qualitative form using a virtual group focus group discussion. And the main instrument is a structured FGD interview module, which is composed of two sections, of course, the participant's profile and the guide questions. And the study participants were selected using purposive sampling, and it should fit two main criteria specified by the researchers. First, they should be currently an official staff of the American Corner based in the Philippines. And number two, preferably the head or part of the MOOC camp organizing team. And the MOOC camp should be implemented during the COVID-19 pandemic. So for our respondents, there's a total of 12 American Corners nationwide who took part in the study. And American Corner Manila was excluded since one of the authors of this paper is affiliated with it. And 7 of them, of the respondents, are coordinators and 5 were directors. Majority are affiliated with private higher education institutions and have been implementing MOOC camps for more than 5 years. So half of the participants came from Mindanao, followed by the Visayas and Luzon. So for the data collected, these are organized and analyzed using thematic analysis model by Noel in 2017, which consists of 6 phases. So first we have data familiarization, generating the initial code, searching for themes, reviewing the themes, defining and naming the themes, and of course, producing the report. So in this research, we transcribe verbatimly the virtual discussion to facilitate data familiarization and formulation of initial codes that would best describe and represent each research question. And then afterwards, these made it easier for us to categorize and identify recurring themes for further analysis. And to continue the discussion of this paper, allow me to please call my co-author and co-lead, Ms. Roana Flores.
Thanks, Ms. Donna. Now, the first-hand data from the responses of the study participants revealed the answers to the research questions. Let's start by looking into the main motivations of ACEs in implementing MOOC camps during the current pandemic. 7 major themes emerged, wherein the top motive cited is the perceived significance of MOOC camps in the upskilling and reskilling of both the participants and the organizers. Study participants believe that MOOC is a training ground and at the same time a learning opportunity. 24% of the participants mentioned the social motives and community impact of MOOC camps. For them, MOOCs help establish relationships, expand connections, and stimulate engagement. Third on the list are course-related motives. This touches upon the flexibility, perceived quality, and effectiveness of the course content, as well as the role of MOOC camps in supporting the curricular offerings of the university, co-curricular, and at the same time, extracurricular activities. Another motivation is the evidence of innovation, both for the implementers and the participants community. Now, for the implementers, MOOCs provide the organization an opportunity to revolutionize their traditional activities beyond the usual. MOOC camps were also seen by the study participants as a tool for solving the pressing community issues and concerns. Now, just like any other activities, MOOC camps were not spared by COVID-19 pandemic. The following are the challenges faced by the study participants and strategies how they surpass those. Participant and organizer-related concerns is the top most recurring concern of the study participants, which touches upon the following. First, accommodating large number of MOOC camps. 2, sustaining the attendance and interest to the coursework and meetup sessions. 3, high dropout rate, conflict of schedules, lack of social interaction, and lastly, perceived unreadiness of students to MOOC camps vis-a-vis the culture of place. To solve the stated challenges, the study participants implemented different measures and approaches. First is that they try to cap a minimum and maximum number of attendees per sessions. And then another AC staff shared that they prioritize their student leaders, while some prioritize those who are vaccinated already. Study participants also noted that the facilitators own skills and capabilities in connecting participants and motivating them to complete the course really makes a difference. More so, they took advantage of the social media channels where they can connect and constantly follow up with the participants. Private group chats, Facebook pages were enabled as an added communication channel. When it comes to the issue of high dropout rate, ACES highlighted the importance of strategic profiling of MOOC participants. Next challenge are the programming-related concerns, and this covers the lack of exposure and knowledge of some implementers on carrying out MOOC programs, as well as promotion and marketing, selection of relatable MOOC topic and course, and availability of supplies in the local market, and lastly, bureaucracy at the workplace, which results to slow turnaround time of requests. Few strategies to resolve these problems under programming-related concerns include early information drive, promotion, referral, of course, from partner individuals and organizations. The researchers also noted how helpful the close tie-up of ACES on various university academic and non-academic departments when it comes to promoting the programs and expanding reach. Now, in terms of MOOC topics, study participants underscored the importance of selecting an online course that could spark the interest of the participants. Longer lead time was also seen as a solution for rigid bureaucracy, as this gives MOOC camp implementers added time to get approvals and fix contingencies. Last concern highlighted are force majeure events, and these events, or rather challenge, concern or and encompass uncontrollable events in the form of natural hazards such as heavy rains and typhoons, and man-made and technological challenges like the effect of culture of place vis-a-vis the motivation to complete the MOOC program or the course, plus the internet connection issues, power failures, and outages. So these were further exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic-induced challenges such as travel concerns and access to transportation. In order to survive, a study participant reported that they have procured electric generators, emergency lights, and rechargeable microphones if there will be a power outage. Another one stated that they have been implementing book camps in a blended format. Face-to-face meetup sessions were either recorded or live streamed on a private channel to accommodate those participants who failed to attend. Now, despite the identified challenges, all ACES still recommend the implementation of book camps to libraries and other learning organizations planning to implement one due to its long-lasting impact on the individual and the communities as a whole. Alongside the positive recommendations are few lessons learned, of course, from the book camp implementers. Number one is that we need to bear in mind to match the mission and objectives of the organization with those of partner organizations. Two, funds and budgets are necessary. They are fuel to any programming activities. Three, try to explore and apply the appreciative inquiry approach or any other applicable strategy into the actual MOOC camp programming. Four, clearly set the expectations for the course and match its suitability, of course, to your community of learners to be able to motivate them and to let them finish the course eagerly. Fifth, evaluation and follow-up engagement continues the conversation even after the MOOC camp has been completed. Feedbacks from the MOOC participants can really help in improving and in identifying gaps and areas for improvement. Now, as libraries and other spaces for learning continue to explore integrating MOOCs in their programs, the prospect of creating their own module content for relevant topics such as information literacy, digital literacy, and other significant subject themes could be another area to explore. Key partnerships and collaborations must be actively and continuously be sought for in order to gain support from the academic community. Finally, just a few key takeaways from our paper. MOOCs present opportunities and challenges for the advancement of academic institutions and libraries. It is important for us to emphasize that MOOCs are primarily used for informal learning, which in itself caters to learners who are most likely to join if they are truly interested in the offered themes. Second, creating an option for another form of learning, even during the pandemic, attests to this institution's ability to stay relevant and adaptive in any social circumstance. And lastly, for as long as there are institutions to support this program, MOOCs are still the next viable option to ensure that knowledge will prosper when there are many learning opportunities available. Here are the references you've used for this research. And that ends our presentation. We hope that you have learned something new from our research. Should you have any questions and concerns, you may contact us at the following email addresses. Thank you and have a nice day, everyone.